Look at the nearest clock right now. The second hand is moving. Tick, tick, tick. You assume that movement is happening in something called the present, a single sliding moment that carries you forward like a boat on a river. But the real answer is far stranger, because that flowing present, the most certain thing you've ever felt, has never been found anywhere in the universe. Not once. Not by anyone. The physicists looked and it isn't there. Let's start with the laws themselves. Every fundamental equation that describes reality works exactly the same whether time runs forward or backward. Newton's laws don't care which way time flows. Neither does Einstein's relativity. Nowhere in the deep machinery of physics is there a line that says, this moment is the special one. This is the now that's happening. The equations describe a universe where past, present, and future just sit there, equally real. Like cities on a map that all exist whether or not you're standing in them. So if the universe doesn't have a flowing now, where does yours come from? The first crack in the old idea came in the early 1900s. Albert Einstein proved there is no universal clock ticking for everyone. Time runs slower the faster you move and the stronger the gravity around you. A clock on a mountain runs faster than a clock at sea level. A clock on a fast-moving spaceship falls behind a clock left on Earth. This isn't a measurement error. It's real. Time bends. And Einstein knew what that meant. Near the end of his life, when a close friend died, he wrote that the division between past, present, and future is only a stubborn illusion. He believed the flow of time was a trick, but a trick played on whom and by what. To find out, you have to stop looking at clocks and start looking inside your own skull. Here is the first thing nobody tells you. Your brain does not show you the world as it happens. It can't. Light reaches your eyes almost instantly, but sound is slower. A touch on your foot takes longer to arrive than a touch on your face because the signal has farther to travel up your nerves. Each sense runs on a different delay, so your brain does something extraordinary. It waits. It holds the fast signals back until the slow ones catch up, then stitches them together into a single smooth moment and hands it to you, labeled now. The neuroscientist David Eagleman has spent years studying this. He found that the now you are experiencing is assembled roughly 80 milliseconds after the events actually happen. You are always living in the past, a short, edited replay that your brain presents as live television. You never see the editing. You only see the finished cut. But here's where it gets stranger. If your brain is editing time, what happens when the editing breaks? Ask anyone who has survived a car crash. They describe the same impossible thing. The moment stretched. Half a second felt like 5. The world moved in slow motion. Eagleman wanted to know if that slow motion was real, so he built an experiment that sounds insane. He dropped volunteers backward off a tower into a safety net. A genuine free fall. Genuine terror. On their wrist, he strapped a screen flashing numbers too fast to read normally. His logic was simple. If terror truly speeds up your perception, if time really slows down, they should be able to read those numbers during the fall. Not one of them could. The slow motion was real, but it wasn't happening during the fall. It was happening afterward in memory. Their terrified brains had recorded the fall in extraordinary detail, and when they looked back, all that density made the few seconds feel enormous. Time didn't slow down. Memory got heavier. And that is the secret your brain has been keeping from you your entire life. The feeling that time is passing is not a sense organ reading something in the outside world. It is a side effect of memory being made. Think about why one summer as a child felt endless, and why an entire year now can vanish before you've noticed it began. When you were young, everything was new. Every face, every smell, every street was being recorded for the first time, in rich and clumsy detail. Your brain was laying down memory on top of memory on top of memory, and that thickness made time feel vast and slow. Now you're older. You've seen this before. The same commute, the same faces, the same Tuesday. Your brain stops bothering to record what it already knows by heart. It compresses. A whole month can slip by with almost nothing new written down, and when you look back, there's so little there that the time seems to have evaporated. You are not losing time. You are losing novelty, and your brain measures the length of your life by how much it had to remember. So the flow of time, the thing that feels more real than your own hands, turns out to be the quiet sensation of memory piling up inside you. Fast when life is dense. slow when life is sparse, stretched, almost frozen, in the moments your brain decides to record everything at once. Now go back to that clock. The second hand is moving, but the movement you see is your brain comparing this snapshot to the last one it stored and the one before that, and building a sense of motion out of a stack of stills. Exactly the way a film is nothing but still images shown fast enough to fool you. There is no motion inside the film. There's only a sequence, and a mind in the dark supplying the flow. You are the audience, and you are also the film. The physicist Carlo Rovelli, who studies the deepest nature of time, argues that at the most fundamental level, time as a single flowing river simply does not exist. What exists is change. Events touching other events, with no master clock above them keeping score. The smooth current you feel emerges only at your scale, through your particular kind of brain, doing its particular kind of remembering and forgetting. A different creature would live in a different time entirely. A mind that remembered everything with equal weight might feel no flow at all. A mind that recorded nothing might float in a single endless now. Your version of time belongs to you alone. It is shaped by your memory, your attention, your forgetting. It is as personal as a fingerprint and far less permanent, which means something quietly enormous. If time is built from memory, and memory is built from attention, then how much time you have is not decided by the clock on the wall, a day where you notice everything, where you go somewhere new, meet someone new, feel something sharply for the first time, lays down thick memory and stretches long when you look back on it. A day spent on autopilot barely registers at all. It is erased almost as fast as it happens. You've felt this without ever naming it. The trips that felt like they lasted a month. The years that disappeared while you were busy and distracted. You always assumed the clock decided that. It didn't. You did. So the next time you feel time slipping through your fingers, understand what is actually happening. It is not time speeding up. It is your brain quietly deciding there's nothing here worth recording. And you can change that. Not by adding hours, by adding novelty, by paying attention, by letting the world become new again, even when it isn't. Look at the nearest clock right now. The second hand is still moving. Tick, tick, tick. But now you know the truth. Nothing out there is flowing. You are the one building each moment from the one before it, stacking memory upon memory and calling the growing weight of it time. The clock keeps its own quiet rhythm, and it has never once cared about you. The flow was never out there in the world. It was always you assembling the present out of the past, one fading frame at a time.